doing so.
You reached Scott Minders, County Engineer. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Hi Scott, this is the Supervisor. We're looking for you to come up with your discussion.
It won't. Can you see?
Chelsea?
Hi Chelsea, you want to let Chris know we're ready for us?
She's not here.
Yeah, she's not here.
Thanks.
Will you check under the desk and see if the microphone is plugged in?
It's approved the auditor's transfers.
Okay. I'll take this over here. You work over there.
Got it. Yeah, it will.
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's transfers.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Terry to approve the auditor's transfers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Scott is here.
Waiting for somebody to remember for
Well, thought he should be here, but what's that pertaining to?
Guessing it's, were you guys here for
Yeah.
54, lot 6?
Figured that, but, I definitely want Scott or Mark here for that one.
Okay. Maybe we should call Scott's cell phone, see if he's coming.
Guess we gotta do one at times.
I talked to Kelsey and she said that looked fine.
Okay.
Morning, Scott, this is Supervisor. With the Supervisor, you're going to make it up for the discussion, roads, and thank you.
I would say we're gonna be about half an hour before we get a year for the risk, for the management, bottom one.
Some other stuff.
Oh, okay, all right.
Talk about number 5.
Yeah, we can do that. Extension.
Okay. Got too much stuff for this thing today.
Boilerplate.
It's late August.
Do we have a number of days that they were held up by weather? They had to keep
Or the
track.
ditch has been full.
Yeah, I know, I just, the number of days.
I'm willing to bet it's more than it's gonna get extended.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, it's, when I saw it on the agenda, I knew the reason for it.
So, completed around September 1st, so if we extend it to September 1st. I'll make a motion to extend the contract for DD1 ditch clean out on the main ditch to September 1st for Larson Contracting.
I'll second it.
Motion by Terry, seconded by Bill to approve the contract extension to Larson Contracting for DD1. Ditch clean out. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, where's?
Just need to be stamped approved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stamp it.
Yes, please.
Did you call Becky?
This is Becky.
Hi Becky, is Scott in the office?
Yeah, yep, I'll send him up.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye.
All right. Nate, what do you got on the warranty?
I talked to Eric, I talked to the guys from NGT, and they both think the bronze plan is fine. One of the strong points about the bronze plan is the fact that they make a yearly visit and do on-site
Preventative maintenance.
maintenance and things like that with the bronze plan. And the phone plan, which is a little cheaper, they don't do any of that stuff. And that's a general consensus between Eric and NGT and myself.
Now on that, is that through 911 or is that through your office?
It would be through my office, I'm thinking.
What is that?
Is that something I could just approve or?
I would approve because it's a contract with a different entity, so.
Okay. All right. So Dave, you want us to approve that? I mean, that,
If we can, yes.
yeah.
Yep.
I'll make the motion to approve the bronze plan for extended warranty issues at the Public Safety Center.
I'll second.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Terry to approve the bronze plan for the sheriff's office for extended warranty issues. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now we'll go back up to, let's go back up to 4. So I wanted you here on that one, Scott.
Okay,
Is Mark by any chance in?
he's not here this week.
Not here this week. Well, I went out and looked, and that was me driving up there. If you saw a car, you're okay. I think just by eyeballing it, I can be way, you can be way off by eyeballing it, with the grade. But I would think we could build a grass waterway down through that would take care of the flooding. To me, it looked like on the east side of your driveway, it looked to me like it dropped off pretty good. And if the only thing that was holding it up was a ridge, probably about 400 feet from your driveway, going south there, probably about even with your house on the east side.
You're talking about the old fence line?
No.
On the side of Torgerson's property? Is that what you're
There
talking
we
about?
pull that up.
Mhm.
Obviously, you have to survey it, but,
So the ditch like it'd be on the east side of the driveway?
not a ditch, just deep in the, well, let's get it out there and I'll show you.
Okay.
If we dug out,
I
maybe,
can't remember, I'm sorry.
Kelly?
if we maybe just dug down a foot, and there again, that can be so deceiving, you know, just looking at it from the road and that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I'm thinking if you dug down a foot, that would always be full of water. Every time it rained, the water would just sit there.
well, there would be a grade.
Ellie, can you get the light? Thank you.
Here's the driveway, other side of 69. Yeah. Can you bring that down a little bit?
Sorry.
There, you can see the highway up there.
Okay, right,
Sorry, it's being honored.
Just click on that parcel we were talking about.
where's that? That's your place right there, right?
Right, yes.
Right. So, now can you go back it up? That's north, that's not east. Right, basically right about here, there's a ridge, right, to me, from the, here again, gotta survey it, but if we just dug a waterway right there, I think that would drain, this, right there. Now, I don't know.
What would it flow into then?
What's that?
Would it end up in the county, flow into the county tile then, or?
Eventually, yeah, probably on Torkelson's inlet, I would guess.
So you're thinking that would prevent all the water from collecting on the north side of our property up
It's
on
still
the
gonna,
main?
it's still gonna collect big right here, but I believe, in my opinion, I believe that it will, if we did it there, it would relieve the water that stands here. There's water still gonna stand there. But, and there again, we gotta bring a laser out there and check it, but, to me, that would be the cheapest fix. Now, if not, we'll have to go through the process of doing an improvement. And get a bigger tile put in there, or find the problem.
Yeah.
So let me clarify what you're saying. So this grass waterway you're talking about would start on the Graver land to the east of us, to the right over there,
Yeah, I guess right about here,
going where?
going this way.
But that's against the flow.
The water goes the other way.
Yeah, water goes the
I
other way.
know it, but, and there, it's just an idea, I don't, we'd have to survey it out there, It really, to me, from the eyeball, it really, down about here, it really falls off. And this is still, it's in a program, I don't know what it is. but-
CRP.
CRP, yeah.
It has to be worked through the NRCS no
Right.
matter what.
Yeah.
All that, including ours and Torgerson's as well, that's all in CRP.
Okay, yeah. So,
The other thing we could do is bring it up on pictometry and look at the contours, give us an idea.
Yeah.
The high spot that you're talking about there, is it flow northwest from there and then it
Yeah.
goes southeast on the other side of it?
Here again, eyeballing it, it looks like that would be the cheapest medium. You can do a lot of dirt work for a little bit of money. I mean,
Yeah.
What about all the water draining from the north under the road coming into that area, right by Torgerson's? Because.
I don't think that's gonna help that,
Right.
no.
It won't help that at all.
But it will, there again, if this is low enough, you'll definitely, your road will not flood, if it's low.
So that land you're talking about is in CRP, am I right, Tom?
Correct.
So is that going to present a problem since it's in CRP?
There again, we gotta do all, we have to check all that. We have to check that.
The particular plot of land you're talking about has a higher elevation than the one right to the north of it. So
What's that?
the particular elevation you're talking about, that land has a lot higher elevation than down by Highway 9. So all that water is just going to, instead of actually that swale you want to take out, it's actually trapping water
Right,
from getting there, which is good, because that means that takes pressure off that low area.
right, but
around
like I
the
said,
driveway.
right, that would be,
It's gonna take.
from about, I'm guessing now, from right about here, to me, from the road, it looks like it drops off. It doesn't?
It's actually higher.
It is.
Yeah, I can tell you that right
Oh,
now.
that's an optical illusion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
I
is.
think so too, yeah, it's higher.
That is a higher spot.
Well,
It's an idea.
yeah, I think that, what we need to do is probably get an engineer.
She gets it located. So the water sits at what elevation? Where does the water sit?
1250,
To the north.
roughly 1258.
Okay.
So right? There's your place, right?
That should be our place, the
Yeah,
Kelly
You
place.
can see the
yeah.
driveway's right there.
So 1258, and what I'm talking about, it looks to me like it's 10 feet lower. From here to here.
But the driveway is flooding down further to the north, or towards Highway 9.
Right.
And that's down at 1238, where the water really sits and backs up on the driveways.
1234.
Yeah, I don't know what
Let's
that
see which
number
way we
is.
going here.
Right
Yeah,
there.
1236 right there.
Okay.
See, the biggest problem we have is at further to the left, where it's 1236,
Right,
further left,
further left?
right there. See the 1236? That's where we're having the major problem with
Right,
flooding.
okay.
The 1240, or the
All
12, that area up there, that little pond, that doesn't get over the driveway. That has never been over the driveway up there.
Right,
And to the east is only 2 feet lower.
Yeah, see, it only drops off 2 feet that way.
okay.
Unfortunately, there's not any lower numbers around there.
No,
So then we're.
What's that number right there? I can't read it.
It says 957.
I don't know what that's all about.
That's, seems out of line.
that's a
don't you
line,
think?
that's something to do with the line.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a hole.
Yeah, that's out then, yeah. You'd have to go down 10 feet. Eventually, you'd have to go down 10 feet, so, yeah.
It's a lot of dirt.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna guess my suggestion, do an engineering or do more exploration.
Jim Witt, there's several letters in the file about this issue, and Jim Witt for years have told them that it's not a drainage issue and that they need to raise their driveway. And that's,
Carla, we also have it in our notes talking to him that he talked about the county doing something with that road, since it would cost so much to figure out how to redo the drainage.
and when I talked to Mark Johnson the other day, he said that they did do something once, but because it's not a drainage issue, that they probably shouldn't have.
Wait, but do you know it's not a drainage issue?
Well,
I feel it's a drainage issue further east of us as holding the water back.
I'm just reporting what I saw in the file.
Okay, and I'm just telling you, before the heavy rains even came, the water wasn't getting away. I believe there's an issue maybe a mile or more east of us that's preventing it from, I mean, it laid there in Graver's Field every other field area was empty and that one was still water on it.
And that was before the big 8-inch rain.
Do we have a report from La Harve Construction on where they've done their spot digging?
Chris talked to them and they said that all they were full. They were wide open, running
They're flowing at full
capacity.
capacity.
But they look, I think it's further east, because that is, it's just not getting away. I know there's a lot of water, but when it starts backing up before the big downpours came, it was definitely an issue before that.
Before we had the 8-inch rain, there was about 1.5 inches or 2 inches of water over the top of the driveway already at that point,
Right.
going into that heavy rain. So it is back in somewhere.
And it's a continual problem. This isn't a one-time thing. We're not talking about this June only. We're talking about years now. It's progressively getting worse. So this was kind of like we need to address it.
Now, do you want to start out by having a meeting with La Harve? I guess I could.
So looking at lat 6, it's 30 inches where it dumps into the open ditch along the highway. I'm trying to see what lat 6 watershed is. It's quite an area. So from this point where it dumps into the ditch, it's doing all of this. That's a lot of 40s.
Because when you done that work, 3 miles east and put in a larger tile, the justification was, when we got it assessed for it, it was going to take the water away faster. That was done last year.
I think, my opinion is to get an engineer to look at this. You know how I hate engineers.
Yeah.
What do you want to use?
Looks like.
Well, Scott?
Drainage next drainage.
Quick, Mike.
It's drainage engineers. Yes. It stems back a few years on that one, so.
Rick,
Yeah.
Andy, Kent,
I suppose it'd be cheaper if we used somebody out of Mason.
You got 2 out of Mason. You got Main Street.
I'm
Andy,
not very high up.
Drew.
True. Swears.
Can't remember what company.
And then the scope of work would be to assess the current conditions of the,
Why that road is muddy. They gotta come up with a technical.
looking at it, part of it is you've got this flow coming downhill from the hills to the south towards your tile. It's dumping it down there and it's being stored down there for the time being until it can get away.
Mhm.
So somewhere the system isn't, you probably have to determine, what coefficient is there now.
And the 30-inch tile was the one that they saw flowing full all the way, or which tile were they digging up?
I think we were digging up more towards the house.
I don't know, I heard bits and pieces.
Because the 30-inch tile is one that has to take it all away, right? And it's just like up by Rake up there, it just can't do it. Even in Rake didn't get as many big rains as you guys got.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
The 30-inch tile is never really completely full, and they won't completely full usually, but this one was never full. Mainly because all the feeder tiles going from it
22,
are smaller.
12.
They increasingly get smaller as they go up the drainage.
That's 34 there. Drops to
Maybe the fall from here justifies it, I don't know. That's why I believe we need to check that.
I'm gonna look at an old map.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Drew Swears as engineer for DD 54, lat 6 tile. Come up with a solution to the flooding of Aiden Kelly's driveway.
I'll second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Bill to hire Drew Swears. Where's he from again?
BJ.
To investigate DD 54 lat 6 for the Aiden Kelly driveway. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So it looks like, according to both the new and the old map, you've got a 30-inch tile that dumps into the open ditch. But then when you get past two of the other laterals, it goes to 34. So you got 34 going into a 30. Something
Doesn't make sense.
So we should check the original maps, just to verify that.
Yeah.
There's one down in the southwest corner too that goes from a larger tile, the main does, to a smaller tile. And one of the landowners explained to me that the engineer years ago was explaining that it created a funnel, or it would somehow create a suction and by going to a smaller tile it don't seem to make much sense to me.
They were talking about the Venturi effect.
Yeah, I don't know whether somehow it was going to make it flow better.
Scott, the only thing that would be there is if the grade was deep, much better.
Steeper, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
That's,
could be, but we're speculating, we just will check the
yeah,
original maps.
yeah. Okay, we got the ball rolling. Engineer's gonna come in, yeah. So,
And maybe he'll want to do a couple of spot inspections with Lahar. Check out what he assesses the flow to be.
he should probably talk to Lahar anyway, because he did the spot inspections. He might be able to get some information from him.
Have him talk to Mark too before he gets too deep into it.
Okay, we'll keep going here on it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Alrighty, Scott.
Well, bridge work continues. The guys are working on the second bridge up there west of Scarville. We had the old timber bridge torn out last week, and weather's good and everything moves along as it should. Hopefully they'll have the pipe in the ground this week and have a pretty good handle on the project. They do have a lot of dirt to move there because they are skewing the pipe more than the bridge was. Just to make things shape up a little better and hopefully make the bank less steep. So,
What do you mean skewing
the bridge was 90 degrees to the road about, and then it took a hard bend to the south.
Okay.
So we'll take the pipe and kind of cut the angle in half. Yeah, so it's a metal pipe, but a little bit more dirt work than the average pipe job, so take a little bit of time for that. Other than that, of course, we approved contracts for the 2 jobs with Rognus Brothers last week, 2 bridge projects, and contracts are signed and approved by the state, so we'll get pre-construction meeting scheduled soon and have some more information from the contractor at that point. And one follow-up from last week, Bill, that road you mentioned, 480th, there's a couple of miles on 480th up there. I think they're both level Bs, but they could use a little material, so when we get done with our resurfacing program, we'll get some spot loads hauled up there.
Okay.
They are level B roads, and we try to keep good shape on our level B roads and make sure that they're in good condition and shed water and that kind of thing, but they do get less material than the level A roads, so it's a balancing act to make sure that they're usable, you know, in dry conditions when the field's ready to harvest or plant or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yep, thank you. That it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I just noticed some of the back roads, people are avoiding the highway construction. So 1 mile off on 160th, southwest of Leland, has been roughed up pretty good. Probably have to have a little, I don't know if the trucks are still hauling to that hoop building.
Shouldn't be as far as I know, but it's hard to keep tabs.
Yeah, but I know north of that facility, it was really in rough shape at the end of last week.
Okay. We'll check it out.
I know there's a lot of traffic that goes on 150th.
Yeah, it's apparently hard for people to be patient or take other routes in some cases, so that's normal to get some spin-off traffic when you have detours and hold-ups, so we'll take a look at it.
Did you embargo the roads and trucks wouldn't decide to take that? Or?
We did not.
I know a lot of places will embargo a detour just so people won't take it with trucks for sure.
Yeah. It's an option always if it gets bad enough.
But then you embargo it for the out-of-area trucks and the local guys just won't.
Yeah, I mean, it takes some enforcement to make them really worthwhile.
Yeah, it'll scare a few of them off.
Maybe.
Okay. Thank you. Semi-monthly plans. We can do that later. Good look at them. Open forum. Thank you. Melissa Michaels, following the employee handbook or making her a contract employee?
I put this on the agenda because technically Teresa always followed the handbook. So if you're not going to have her be a handbook employee, you need to make her a contract employee. You need to pick one or the other. And right now she's got different benefits and is not a contract employee.
Well, that's not up to us alone, you know. That would be up to the whole board.
There's still 3 out of, so without you guys' permission, it can't happen. So
run through some of the differences between contract employee and the following handbook.
Well, I just brought Eric's employment contract, and I mean, basically it says for Eric, he shall follow the policy book except for his pay time off. He doesn't get any sick leave, and then he gets different vacation. So what what we were doing with Melissa before this motion was made is like everybody else who starts with the county accrue vacation. So we had started to accrue her vacation, and then the motion was made that she get 2 weeks of vacation. And the other question I have is, she has 14 days, well, 2 weeks is 10 days. So it doesn't make sense how it's worded also, because 2 weeks is 10 days, not 14.
And when you called me, I explained that I'm one member of a 6-member board, that I can't just undo something.
And I get that, but I do believe that it should be brought up at your Winworth Bedco meeting again to either, like I said, make her a contract employee, or to have her, I mean, right now she's supposed to be following the handbook, but you did something else. So we either need to make her vacation what it is in the handbook, or make her a contract employee.
Winworth Becco has never formally adopted any employee handbook, whether it be Winnebago County or Worth County. It's a separate board,
Teresa's always followed our handbook.
loosely.
And like I mentioned to you on Friday, that's something I think our board's gonna have to discuss at our next
And
meeting.
it might be a moot point a month from now.
Yeah. So we have a lot of things on that day we'll be discussing on your job, and we can bring this up on clarifying it, how we wanna handle it, and we can bring up the point of how Teresa was, but it's gotta be a 6-member board decision.
It's hard for us in my office to administer things that aren't uniform. So when we start messing with things that aren't in the policy book, then we have to create new programs and do different things to.
A month from now, it might be off of your shoulders anyways.
And keep in mind that Worth County has a different policy book than we do.
It does.
But since they get paid with us, they always follow our policy book.
We'll wait for our other meeting, our next meeting, which is the 13th.
But the point is duly noted.
All right. I'm sure you'll keep that in the back of your mind, don't you?
What's that?
I mean, we don't have to put it on the agenda in a month from now. You'll keep that in the back of your mind.
Sure.
All right. Sandy Morales' benefits from CCS. CSS.
Sandy, okay, so I got a call from Karen and Lori at the region saying that if you guys want them to pay out Sandy's benefits, they would do that. However, you would have to start her as a new employee, which according to our handbook means that she wouldn't get insurance for a month. She would, like start over with vacation like a brand new employee. She would just be a whole new employee. So they said they would do that. They would pay her out if we made her a new employee. They said they wouldn't pay her out if like her insurance continued and we didn't do things like she was a new employee.
Well, they'll have no say over it if we sever our ties, once we do. So,
It's the meantime that we gotta figure out.
Yeah, and Sandy wants her stuff paid out, but she's not here. So I don't know what you want me to tell them, because.
Well, I would talk to Sandy, and we should get her up here. If I was Sandy, I would take the payout, and then she's starting over with us, and we can do whatever we want.
But we just.
CSS would be out of it. She's no longer an employee for them, so.
Right, but they, like I said, they just told me that they will pay her out if we make her a new employee. They won't pay her out if we don't.
Hi, this is Sandy.
Hi, Sandy, this is the supervisors. Do you have time
Hi.
to come up and talk to us?
I sure do. I sure do. Bye.
What is their benefit of making her become a new employee?
Punishment.
Well,
Well, yeah,
You should just gotta follow the.
I was just gonna see what kind of reason they gave. I don't know, the whole thing's about punishment.
well, it's basically about the handbook again, because she follows our handbook. So if you make her a new employee, then, and I can get Lori's
They're gonna-
Why
phone
should we follow
number.
our handbook when we're not the king and agent?
We are. We
I
pay her,
thought,
they reimburse us.
I thought,
So
who
it's,
writes the checks?
Not directly to her.
They just reimburse us for the salaries out of here.
So once
But
we
they
pay her-
get paychecks from Winnebago County.
I know, but the 11, I can't remember which county it is that writes the checks to get paid
$11, don't bother.
but they just pay the claims, not the payroll. Each county, they follow the handbook of the county that they're in.
They write a check to Winnebago County.
The Butler writes the check to Winnebago County though, right?
For the total,
For the reimbursement.
yes. I would assume so.
So there's really no vested interest in them. They're willing to pay it if we make sure she
Is a new employee.
completely fired first.
Well, we wouldn't pay somebody out if they were, I mean, you don't pay somebody out just in the middle just 'cause. I mean, you pay somebody out because they're either leaving or starting a new position or,
Got fired.
yeah.
But this is gonna be.
So it makes sense that she has to start over.
This is just a payout on her vacation though, right, isn't it?
It's her vacation and sick time.
Sick time.
I mean, I see their point. 'Cause
Yeah. Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, kinda.
But they're footing the bill for it. So,
Which is why they want her
right,
as a new
right.
employee when,
But there again, that's punishment because she won't be a
She
new
would-
employee for them.
If she would've stayed as an employee for them, they would've had to put that bill at some time anyway.
Right.
You know, so.
I would call Mike Galloway that. I bet there's some legal issue on that.
Because she was previously employed by us to do multiple jobs. And part of that job was eliminated. A good portion of that job was eliminated by them.
Well, there the legality comes in because the only that came out of our budget was the, what, 4,000?
485 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So what do you think? The payout thing.
Oh, I thought I had to.
what, so Karen called me.
I would just soon have it there, but I was under the impression that you told me I had to take it out.
What Karen told me was they will pay you out if Winnebago County makes you a new employee per our handbook. So that means you'd start accruing vacation brand new. You would start,
But I'm,
That's a Mike Galloway question. I can't imagine that. They can't control what we do if once we sever ties with them. I don't know how they could.
The ties aren't severed yet. It won't be.
I know that.
but I'm also hired under the general relief program also.
Right.
Doing all these other duties.
I think maybe you and Sandy got to get on the phone with Mike Galloway.
I just soon keep my benefits if I had the option to, but I was under the impression I had to do it. Because I have quite a bit.
I just can't imagine they could dictate this. Anyway.
well, the only other thing that comes to my mind is she gets paid out by them. She gets paid out at her rate that she was at. If she moves it all now, it all moves to that $7.50 an hour. So it would be a big benefit for her to get paid out right now versus not. I don't know, I'm just,
Unless that follows to the new region.
once again, don't shoot the messenger because
No, I'm not. That's why I think we should, I think that's a Mike, I know it's a Mike Galloway, or
She's better out getting paid out by them than us.
think that's what we should do?
That's fine with me, that's what you want.
Whatever we can do to make sure that the region is gonna, pay her out without her losing anything else. What I,
That's the problem though, is that they said they won't do that unless,
That's why we need to get a hold, yeah, well, my suggestion.
well, it'd be nice to have those answers before tomorrow, since we're having that meeting tomorrow for WHW.
well, I can try to call them this afternoon.
Well, I have the maximum sick leave. Almost, I guess. And quite a few vacation days.
Okay,
Hopefully you can have some answers by tomorrow.
That's fine.
Thanks, Sandy. Thank you.
See ya.
Number 11 was the last. Larry signed the business
You need
associate.
a motion for that though?
Yep, I'll make a motion to sign the business associate agreement.
I'll second it. Motion by Terry, second by Bill to sign the business associate agreement. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Risk Management and Safety Committee.
We should probably have Scott here and,
Wait, listen.
Sue?
They were just here.
Well, anyway. ICAP came to visit us on, looks like 7/26. And
Okay, you got time to be at the risk management meeting here? All right.
actually a lot of the stuff is conservation department, but, so they want additional material under the Thorpe playground equipment. They want, complete motor vehicle checks on conservation department employees who drive county vehicles or their vehicle for county business, and that's also for everybody in the county. And complete background checks for individuals volunteering their time at the conservation department. So we are supposed to, here's the other one. We are also supposed to check motor vehicle records and driver's license annually. Develop a distracted driving policy. Review and revise sheriff operations policy manual.
Do you know what they mean by checking the licenses? Is that
Yeah,
something that?
well, every year we get a copy of everybody's driver's license who gets paid mileage for the county.
From the DMV?
No, we just ask each employee to bring in a copy of the driver's license.
It
And
doesn't
then,
tell us much, though. It just shows the license.
Shows you still have one.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bottom line, they just want to make sure you have a driver's
Suspended or not?
Well, we had an issue a few years ago where that happened.
Yeah.
so, and they do want us to check the driver's records, I guess. And
Does that cost you anything to do?
so.
But there are some guidelines that we can and can't do, so.
So now, when we request this of you as the sheriff, it would be no different than any company doing it, or do we have any differential there as a government agency?
That would be a question for Andy, because he's in charge of the cover.
It gives me a website where I can check them. So. Develop new deputy orientation and training protocol, secure keys for vehicles, and label county fuel tanks. That's for you.
Yeah.
And then we need responses for all of these things, and we have to send this back into them. So the first one is check employee motor vehicle records and driver licenses annually. So you want to tell them.
So, you said we gotta do all these things for what? What are they gonna do with
It'll
us?
affect
Rates go up.
insurance. Our liability is higher.
The first one is what?
Check employee motor vehicle records and driver licenses annually.
For everyone?
Mhm.
Sound nervous.
No, I'm just thinking about the logistics of doing that.
We already do it. I mean,
Okay,
Well, do we have a record of your license?
yes.
Your office has a
As
copy of
a
their
copy
license?
of everyone's driver's license.
They don't have.
What are we checking it for?
Well, this wants us to
OMBI,
check,
speeding,
see if they have, if they're.
Big deal.
Yeah,
You get a speeding ticket on the weekend.
that affects your insurance though. I'm sure that was.
Sure, but what about it? What are the consequences?
That's what they want. If we have two of your truck drivers that have two speeding tickets, our insurance is going up.
When you talk to your employees and say, you better slow down.
That's, I'm guessing.
I would think if everybody has active driver's license, that'd be the main thing. Make sure they haven't been suspended. I would think would be the main thing.
If you've got 3 speeding tickets on your license, your personal insurance is gonna go up, so they wanna use it for.
Yeah, it's to nobody's benefit to get speeding tickets. I mean,
No.
nobody's
but-
trying to
but
get
they
speeding
just-
tickets.
They're taking an increased risk because they think they have a reckless person on hand, so then they think you gotta have more money. Because they like to take no risk and still get paid.
So we're supposed to get that information and report it to them?
No, just have it for our own. It doesn't say to report to them.
But it doesn't do them any good to do it.
But it verifies that we are checking, that we have accountability of the people that are driving.
Yeah.
But everybody's job description requires they have a valid driver's license, as far as I'm
Well, if it's just for checking, then the simple way of doing it is for the secondary road, they can make a copy of it and either send it in or give it to, I mean, that's simple. Every garage has a copy machine, don't they?
not everyone actually, but
No?
it's easy enough to get done, I
They can get a
guess.
copy of it.
But, I mean, can we
If
check?
it's just for check, then that.
The simple solution is every year, they're in here for insurance or something anyway. So when they come in for insurance, their health insurance, fill out all those forms, they just bring us a copy of their insurance and driver's license at that time, and it's done.
Okay.
So,
That's taken care of.
okay. Develop a distracted driving policy. Here they suggest, make sure everyone's wearing a seatbelt, prohibit use of cell phones, call or text while driving, including hands-free devices, prohibiting operating any type of equipment that's not essential to driving, refraining from driving if drowsy or under the influence.
Pretty much strict, isn't it already, isn't it? I mean, you don't want them to use cell phones.
They can use hands-free devices.
Yeah.
Why would it outlaw that? Everybody in the
It's
public is able to do that.
Well, I know guys that work for Pioneer, you can, if they figure out you made a phone call while you're moving, it's automatic firing. You drive onto their, if you're a private contractor, drive onto load of their seed plant down there in Renwick or whatever, if they see you on your phone, then you're done, you won't haul for them anymore. And there's some of them that are really getting.
Well, what's our policy going to be?
Well, the law already prohibits texting while driving, right? And it prohibits distracted driving.
Distracted driving can be eating a cheeseburger.
Or handbook.
And as far as hands-free go, it isn't holding the phone up to your ear that's a distraction. The distraction is a conversation. So this whole thing, like, if you get caught holding your phone up to your ear in a commercial vehicle, it's a $5,000 fine for the driver and a $5,000 fine for the carrier. But they've had studies that prove that the distraction is the conversation. You're not thinking about your driving. So it doesn't matter whether you're holding the phone up to your ear or not. But it's legal to drive down the road with hands-free. And so it's really, doesn't seem like it accomplished much. Other than create some revenue possibly if you got somebody who doesn't want to get hands-free.
Justification, somebody listening to news radio.
Yeah, no, no.
You listen to news radio, get intrigued by what's going on while you're driving down the road. You cause a wreck because you're listening to your radio. You're chewing it down.
Or someone's going down the road.
JJ is so intriguing, and you can't help it.
There's a billboard up there that says, drive slowly. Wham.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
we are bombarded by 27,000 different messages every single day. We're bombarded by it. How can you segregate between a hands-free device and the other messages you receive all around you? It's impossible.
Somebody going down the road listening to music, shaking their head all over the place, and they're wandering, you swear they were drunk. You know, I've seen that many times. Long hair was flying too, so I don't know if it was all women or just. A lot of guys have long hair nowadays. So.
Okay, back to the hippie days. Come on.
Yeah.
And I keep in the handbook, Carla?
Hmm?
Do we have anything in the handbook? If not, there might be something in the safety policy.
The handbook basically says we check the DMV as a condition of the employment, but it also says the county will make periodic checks of an employee's driver's license through visual and formal DMV records checks.
Is that just, we do it because we've heard bad things, or we do it just because we're gonna do
Or
it?
it's always been.
Is it gonna be like drug testing, we're just gonna randomly pull some licenses and see what's going on, or?
It just says the county will make periodic checks of an employee's driver's license through visual and formal DMV records checks.
Did they review our policy manual before they wrote those recommendations?
Mike Galloway is the last person who's looked at our.
No, did the insurance company who wrote the,
You could just.
I don't think he.
so if they didn't
must not
review
look
our
at it
insurance,
because
or if
he
they
already
didn't
did
review
that.
our policies, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to recommend policy
That's
revisions.
what we're already doing according to our policies.
Because the destructive driving policies in our safety
But
handbook,
I
right?
thought, well, I have to check. So maybe we ought to review policy before we talk about changing anything.
And sheriff's operations manual, do you know about that?
Yeah, we had a nice talk, and we do have some shortcomings. Get them squared away.
And then you know about your stuff, the secure keys for vehicles and labeled fuel tanks.
Fuel tank thing you mentioned, did you have any specific in there about it?
It says fuel tanks are observed at secondary road shops and Fort Speed and Thompson do not have visible general precautionary statements like no smoking or flammable and NFPA hazard ratings applicable with tank contents. Proper labeling helps emergency responders quickly recognize contents and safety measures to take when dealing with fires that occur near or at fuel tanks suggested to ensure all fuel tanks are labeled with its NFPA diamonds and applicable hazard statements.
Okay.
It
Yep,
used to be in the good old days, everybody just knew it was in those things.
it's
There's no common sense anymore. You see that, oh, look at those tanks over there with pumps on the top, I wonder what's in there.
But then the same thing is those diamonds that identify whether you're most of the, then they have a statement at the bottom, not all substances are covered here, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you have to cover the one that is the most. They'll have the one for the one that is the most danger, and then the rest of them might not be listed. You know, you'll have 1993 for something that's combustible, but they won't have the, what else?
That's basically it. 2 things for the sheriff, we need to check on those, because I think that's already part of our policies.
I would mention that he was overall impressed with our, sort of the neatness and compliance of our shops, so I was happy to see that.
Do you have copies of this? Do you want copies of that?
I would too, yeah.
Okay.
Please.
I'll get that to you.
I tried to get copies from him that day, he wouldn't give them to me.
Really?
Yeah, he wouldn't give them to me.
Okay. So you want me to just fill out that thing and send it back?
Well, that's it, folks. All we're doing now is payroll and, semi-monthly claims.
That's the most important part, Mike, come on.
I was trying to take up for discussion. I mean, I know you guys are on the phone and you got cigarettes smoking, you're driving down the road at 70 miles an hour.
Right, trying to eat a burger.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly.
You should see them when they're plowing, man, it's great.
You were smoking?
You got it.
Yeah, cigarette smoking is a distraction. I mean, whatever you're
Yeah,
doing.
smoke a cigarette, got the phone
Smoking a
in
joint is
your shoulder, got the burger.
Yeah. Well, unless you got a bong in there, or maybe you get the free flow of the air.
But yeah, I roll the windows down so I can share the well, but other than that, everything else is. Sheriff's not here right now. I guarantee you that the people who wrote that are the very same people who violated every single day. My favorite is
Sitting here.
in Phoenix, watching people going down the road at 80 miles an hour.
Just paperwork.
Shaving. Eating a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them going down the road partying?
No, I didn't see that.
I haven't been into that.
As part, no.
Sometimes, many times I've seen them going down the road partying. Look it up, FARDING. It's the application of makeup.
That happens all the time in Kansas City, trust me.
Not just
I've seen
one in our property.
I'm going down there.
We hope they haven't done.
Oh, no, it's the eyelash stuff.
Yeah, I put under eyeliner and stuff, and I'm like,
All right. Yeah.
and that was just a nail truck driver.
Yeah. All right. Yep.
Have you ever listened to Bob and Tom and heard that about,
Yes, I have.
how the wrecks respect the way I handle my big rig?
Okay, well, I know when I'm not wanted, so, see you guys.
Yeah, have a good day.
Oh, I will. I regret to inform you, I will not be here tomorrow. I will be in Sioux City,
Oh, okay.
so I apologize ahead of time.
What's going on in Sioux City?
We programmers are having a convention,
Oh,
so the entire Koloff Media Group is headed that
So
way.
what do we do at a convention like that? Run around with headphones on?
That's it. And somebody talks, tries to pep you up.
All the conventions I do, everybody asks me, so what do you do at those conventions? What do you put a ski on your head and walk around?
No, but there are guys I have seen at AFTRA conventions, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists conventions. Earplugs on, and there's somebody really prestigious up there giving a speech, and they're jiving away to music or whatever. You see their head bobbing, like they're saying yes. They're not doing that at all. See you guys.
yeah. Have fun.
Oh, I will.
Our glass. guy does landscaping, or does landscaping lights and other things, and he made a suit with little itty bitty LED lights all through it, so he just lit up with his suit up. It's kind of cool. It's amazing what they can do with those little LED lights now.
We all sign this one? Yes.
Robert's on the phone, do you want me to transfer him over?
Robert.
Schwartz?
I think I can pick it up.
Huh?
I can pick it up from here.
Okay.
This is Carla.
Hey, good morning, Carla. This is Robert.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to make the risk management meeting, but I was told that something was brought up about conservation or maybe a playground inspection or...
Yeah, I can just give you a copy of the recommendations he made for conservation.
And when was the inspection done?
July 26th.
July 26th. Well, normally what they do is they contact us, they come out and they meet, and then we go out and do once in a while they'll look at, all they ever look at is playground swings or slides. But I never met with anybody.
Okay, well, he must have stopped out because he's got suggestions for you.
Okay. All right, so you got a copy of it?
Yeah, I'll put it in your box.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Wow, all the excitement?
Yes, yeah.
I didn't even get to come in and tell AJ that his washing machine was gonna show up.
Oh, Mary, no, he just left. You couldn't.
No, I caught him outside.
All right, I can see you must run into him.
Well, they tried to call him and they didn't, well, I tried to call him, he doesn't answer his phone, so why would he answer for anybody?
Yeah.
Kinda like my wife.
Yeah.
She has a cell phone, but when she's at the house, she sets it down and walks away from it.
My wife never calls me, she makes one of the kids do it.
Well, I call Jada if they're together, because Jada answers her phone.
Yeah.
Carrie never does.
Yeah.
So I missed out on the whole meeting, you're all done?
I can't believe it. I mean, the people were hanging on the edge of their seat right up until the end.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
But you're here for the exciting part about doing the Southern Mountain County claims.
Oh, no, this is payroll.
We're on payroll, or no, we're not good.
See, I don't have to sign that stuff. That's all Marty.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
People are like, you wanna be mayor? Hell no! That's a lot of work.
Well, that's what Mike's doing over there, he's wearing his wrist built up, his fingers.
Gotta work on that. Well, you guys have a good day.
Yeah, good day, Carl.
See you, Carl.
The other night I was at a council meeting and Carl pulled up next to me and he got out of the car and I said, oh my gosh, I said, I thought you were Bill.
I saw you were at the meeting. Saw it on TV.
Was he offended?
No, not really.
He's a little thinner than me now, but he used to be but when I was his age, I was thinner too, so. Well, he lost much weight.
Have they made the decision then? Is that next week?
I don't know.
Or has the recommendation come from the safety committee?
I don't know. I think the safety committee was supposed to meet about it.
So I thought I heard of the safety committee supposed to make a recommendation to the council.
Yeah, I don't know what'll happen there.
How are we supposed to challenge anything on these things? If they approve it, if the department had approved it, unless something looks obviously out of line.
Yeah.
You know, they sneak one through that's got 150 hours on it or something, so then you would question it. You might find out that it's true, and you might find out that, yeah, I guess that's true.
if I was gonna cheat, I would cheat only an hour, a couple hours,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to, and you'd never catch that, or at least we wouldn't. Because we have nothing to compare it to, I guess. Unless we had the time cards here with it.
There's some counties that started going to time clocks.
Time clocks? We don't.
Nope.
This nonprofit company we're looking at, we'll be discussing on the 13th whether we want to hire them as a contract for Winter Retro.
she told me last night, for panties and lunch.
Anyway, this company, their policy is, I think they have a limit on their vacation, but it's not, I mean, it's just, they trust people to not abuse it. But, you know, it also reflects on your yearly review too. Isn't that the way you took it?
You know what I found? Like, I don't have formal vacation. I take less vacation now than I did when I was a employee who had vacation.
Well, when we used to be in business for ourselves, we never took vacation. Some would always be there because the rest of the employees wanted to. But, and then when I had my truck, and my boss there, he was a real slave driver. I see that guy, can't say his name, the taller one of the two, they came and made that presentation. He was on the news with their little bus ride they talked about. They had that on the KMT news, talking about how they wrote it down and didn't realize everything that went on in small communities.
We called it the elevator.
The number?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, but
She worked for us now?
hotel.
And she's from Buffalo. Or she actually lives a mile in Sioux County. They moved out of town onto an acreage.
Veterinary.
Yeah, and Kelly Sabins.
Oh, Kelly.
Works
Does he work
with,
at a cleaner? He helps cleaner.
is he helping cleaner now? He was working with Peyton, doing construction work.
Sure, that was paid, he's doing good.
Yeah.
I was in the cleaner shop one day, wanted to get something done, and Kevin Thornton hadn't showed up, so Kelly took care of me. I asked parts of Kelly about it.
I guess I didn't realize he was working there. I knew him and Cleaner, they've been buddies for years.
Yeah,
Well, how does that work?
he works around here, kind of keeping everything going.
Well, Cleaner's wife used to babysit for all those people when she was younger. That's with Dwayne and Teresa.
515.
Which button do I push first?
Hit 9,
Sounded like
9.
You're right.
1, 5, 1, 5.
Wait a minute.
5, 2, 4, 3. 7, 6, 1, 1.
Good morning, Allison Cooney.
This is the Winnebago Supervisors. Is Mike in?
Let me try secretary for you. Just a moment. This is Alice. Can I help you?
Yes, Mike in. This is the Winnebago Supervisors.
He is on the road to a meeting. Can I send him a note and have him call you?
Yeah, would you please?
Okay, and what number can you reach you at?
641
Mm-hmm.
585 3412.
Okay, I'll send Mike a note.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
What else? Is it 106 South Clark, the address?
Here, 126.
126.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, for, payroll? I'll do a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second.
You got that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Opposed? And I think you did the semi monthly, didn't we?
We need to have the recording going, get Mike called back.
We got her, yeah.
Take
This one?
Yeah.